Buenas noches, señoras y señoritas. Tonight, on esta noche, I want to talk to you about el Remedio de Empacho. Empacho is the situation of the indigestion, is the place where the food stops in the stomach. It's a blockage. The stomach is blocked. Digestion is the place where the food stops in the stomach. It's a blockage. The stomach is blocked. There is a wet empacho and a dry empacho. The dry empacho often manifests as heartburn, a burning in the stomach, with constipation, with a blockage. With the wet empacho, there can be diarrhea, loose stools. Both of these remedios, both of these situations can be helped by the Remedio de Empacho, the remedy for indigestion. It's important to note that food, when you take it, should be taken with friends. You should eat the food with people that you love, people that you know, people that understand you, and people that you understand. This is the most important part of eating. To eat with love, to eat with gratitude and forgiveness and gratefulness. In our great tradition of the Southwest herbs, there is an old remedy for empacho, and that is el Remedio de Empacho. And it is composed of menta de loba, Poleo, Nebada, and Hinojo. These herbs are in the scientific Western nomenclature known as Poleo is Mentha arvensis. And the herb menta de loba is bugleweed or Lycopus americanus. The Hinojo is the fennel seed, and the Nebada is the catnip. All these herbs grow along this great river, the River de San Francisco. And tonight I was able to gather these herbs for the Remedio. I wanted to talk a little bit about empacho, the indigestion. And indigestion is when the food is blocked in the stomach. And oftentimes with the dry empacho, there's a burning, a very hotness, a very warmth. Empacho can also be involved with our children. So when a woman has children, and she's feeding them with her breasts, she can pass on this illness, this problem to her children, especially if there is anger in the family, if there is a lot of loudness, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. This is called colic. So the baby's crying. The baby, when she or he eats, drinks the milk from her mother's breast, the milk becomes like a curd, like something that blocks in the little baby's intestines, and you can hear the baby crying. This remedio that I create with these herbs, with the catnip, with the poleo, with the herb de loba, the Lycopus, and with the fennel seeds, is very good for this condition. It helps to both dissipate the heat and create a situation where the stomach has time to rest and creates a subtle movement in the intestines. I wanted to talk briefly about limpias, or cleansings. Limpias are the way that we clean someone as an herbal practitioner. We use herbs that we gather along the river, in the forest, in the mountains, in the deserts, and we also pray. We do spiritual cleansing, the limpias. Limpias is done with 2 herb wands. I often like to use yerba santa, eridicton angustifolium, or an herb of Poleo, or something that I'm holding in my hands that I rub. And we begin with prayers that we balance the energies from the head to the toes, and we get the energies moving again. I wanted to talk a little bit about moth sickness. This is the sickness where a person is running, always running, moving around, going from place to place, sometimes seeking out other partners for sexuality, running around, they're leaving their family, they're going out, they're going to bars, they're always running, running, moving around, always going from place to place. This is the sickness of the moth. And as if you know, the moth will go to the flame. It will run to the flame. It will seek out the flame to destroy itself. And this destruction, this illness, this dis-ease will go through the family. It's a very difficult kind of situation, and this can be remedied with the traditional remedio of the empacho, and also with the limpia. These great herbs that we have, we give thanks for them, that grow along this river, that grow along this place where I live, and I gather them for you with love, with caring, with gratitude to all the great water that flows in the springtime. I was very lucky in this full moon, when the moon is shining so bright, to be able to pick the Poleo and Mentha de lobo and all the other herbs for this formula. And I mix this formula up, and I think about all the people that can be remedied with it, that have empacho, that have anger, that have a lot of issues with the digestion. It's very important, if you're a mother, to be aware that your you're caring for someone else, so it's important to stay healthy. It's important to stay balanced. It's important to have all the energies in the body balanced. And one of the ways that you could do this is to, before you breastfeed, take some of the Remedio de Empacho, and also to seek out a practitioner who knows the cleansing, the spiritual cleansing, the limpias. And these herbs that I gathered were gathered from the elk house. The elk is the great big deer, the wapiti, who lives in these mountains and frequents this river. He and she live in a group down there on the river, and they make sounds, they bugle and call to each one another. This is called the elk house, and the elk house, the elk, they plant these different herbs, and they make them grow, and these are the good medicines for empacho. I hope that you can find a practitioner if you have empacho, if you have problems with your digestions, problems with anger, to use some of the traditional remedios that we gather here in the Southwest, in these Sky Islands, and try to use them. Right now I'm hearing an elk mama calling her babies, her young ones, and she's down along the river, and she's probably in the Lycopus, in the menta de loba, and with the Poleo. We had a wonderful growth of Poleo with our October moderation of temperatures and rains. I encourage you to follow this herbal practice and find a practitioner. Find someone who can help you with this, so that you can be in balance, be in harmony, be in love with the seasons and this wonderful full moon time of October now, the hunter's moon. God bless you, and may this great, our great mother, the Mother Mary, who brings all these remedios to us, may she be with you and balance you and bring you good tidings.